So we get to the restaurant, right? There's always a problem in the restaurant, and we both sit down, but then, it was 4 people, but there were two tables. So the guy's moving it a little down so they're together. Then he moves it a little more and kept moving ours down. Then he felt like really moved. The guy kept moving our table around, right? Then I guess there was a little wobble to the table, and we're already sitting down at this point. He takes all the plates and stuff off. He flips it over and is doing something with the legs of the table. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I appreciate that they addressed the issue in real time, but now I'm sitting in the middle of a restaurant with a guy who's got the table turned over. God knows where the silverware is. It's all over the place. Steve Wonder here from GetRubix.com, and we're back on a Tuesday. We want to follow up on the Intune advanced hardware inventory. I left everyone hanging yesterday. I showed you how to set it up, but we had some issues. Apparently, it was on the Microsoft server side with reporting the data back, but it's here now, so we're going to take a look at it. Not a great way to start off the lunch.
GetRubix, solving for the modern workplace.
Okay, so we set up this policy yesterday, device inventory. I showed you how to add it from the properties catalog, all the settings. We can see that ours is literally checking for pretty much everything. So the big issue was it wasn't reporting back. I'm happy to say now it is. So if I go to devices, so we have devices here. Which one checked in? Let's go here. This was our test. You notice if we go to Resource Explorer now and I click battery, there we go. So you can see it's a virtual machine, but it's still getting data from there. So you get a design capacity, fully charged capacity, and that'll vary based on the devices. I do have a Surface. So if we look at the Surface device, which is in here, so Surface laptop, this was one I self-enrolled even without autopilot. Take a look at this. So yeah, battery, fully charged capacity, 46,640, 47,700 was its design capacity. I get the cycle count, the manufacturer of the battery, the model. We'll go to the encryptable volume. We could see that's the C drive. It's protected. That's the ID, the logical drive, NTFS. If we go this way, let's go to the BIOS info. Yeah, see, we can scroll along. You can see very specific information from it. So a lot of these are like WMI queries that's pulling in. The memory, total memory is, there it is, some bytes. I know it's a 64 gig machine. This is not telling me a whole lot. If you want information on the TPM, we see the manufacturer, right? Product name, last updated. So a lot of good information we're getting back. And we should be getting this back now for any device that's, and even video cards. This is what I want to show you. So in this device, I use the built-in Intel card, but it's a laptop and I had 2 USB DisplayLink drivers. So it's picking them up as well, right? So it's a really good way to get, data on the device, and it'll refresh every 24 hours. So just to kind of give an example of what happened on the device, we'll go over to it. So when we did look in the logs, we saw that the policy process, you can see here, there's a lot going on here. So beginning harvesting for 97 policies. So the 97 policies is actually what's in the device configuration, device inventory, and that's about everything I have down here all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for battery. If you add them all up, that's 97, right? So processing policy ID, starting with 3811. Well, if we go back to Intune and look up in the URL, look at the policy ID, 3811. So it's processing that policy and getting a specific setting ID, Windows device inventory, battery cycle count, battery design capacity. So it's going to process each thing. It also keeps a battery percentage after every harvest. So it gets, real-time data, which is kind of cool about that. And after that, right, gets all that data. And then it ultimately goes ahead, and then you'll see here, successfully updated harvest entity set, right? And there's a lot going on. I definitely recommend checking out Rudy Oom's blog. He dives deep into every step here, but ultimately it's collecting the data. It's storing it in a very light SQL database to ultimately process it back up and send it there. And what's interesting, because I did get asked about how it processes these things. So if you come into the registry, we will go to here. We'll start by going to Microsoft. You should have a device inventory node now in the registry under Microsoft. So HKLM software, Microsoft device inventory. So we can see there is a harvester, policy receiver, server pipe, and you can see under reports. And of course, these get updated every time it runs. So it always has the latest set here. So for instance, the battery instance name cycle count. So this isn't where the data is. This is just where the report is. Okay. It's the type of policy. It's a declared configuration. This is similar to endpoint privilege management. So when you're looking on here, we'll close this up. When you're looking under Microsoft, you'll also see declared configuration. And there's a lot here. So when you expand, I'll try to walk you through it. Host OS, config enrollments. This is going to be the GUID for your Intune enrollment, device, state, and under state, you're going to have several GUIDs. This particular one, 166F4CF, that is related to the device configuration. So when we drop that down, you'll see this very long GUID, and you'll see cooked and raw. When we look at cooked, there's CSP1 and a bunch of URIs. URI 5 is actually device inventory agent. So the declared configuration, right? It's a document that uses the built-in Windows declared configuration service to retrieve and refresh settings, right? So it's a little bit different than, you know, your traditional Intune policy. So I thought I would call that out. And if you want to see it running, we can open services and we can see the declared configuration service properties. But we can get out of the weeds here because it's there, it's on the machine, it's working. So of course we're getting all that data. And just to show you one more, this is even a cloud PC, and you can still see we're pulling that information in. OS version, you can get the current build, Microsoft Hyper-V video, BIOS, CPU information. So even on a cloud PC, right, we can see this, although I can see this being much more useful for hardware. Okay, so to answer some questions. So for a much deeper explanation into how it's working really under the hood, right, I showed you a few areas. Please check out Rudy's blog. He has a great write-up on it. I will put it below in the link because it's very thorough. Can you do this for, you know, multiple devices at once? Not yet. That is a feature that is coming to, I believe, Advanced Analytics later on, maybe Q1. So that's going to be available through the Intune suite, or as a standalone, you can just buy Advanced Analytics. And we really don't know what that's going to look like yet, but once we have some idea and you know, I can show you, then we'll take a look at it. So hopefully that concludes the advanced hardware inventory, how it works, what it looks like, what kind of data it brings back, and let me know your thoughts on it. I know you are letting me know your thoughts on it. I'm seeing them, so it's, you know, great to see that there. And I guess what other questions you have. Tomorrow we start back up with the graph part 4. So we'll keep going down that road. There'll be some new members videos starting today, and we'll be seeing you.